Hello, welcome at the new recording of the Workplace Ninja Netherlands podcast. We're hosting a new session today in Slot Loevestein. It's a castle in the Netherlands, so thanks Erik for the organization here. Lots of people are joining us today, but beforehand we do a little update on Ignite. 2 weeks ago, Ignite was there, and a lot of interesting topics are coming through. I'm sitting here. My name is Frans Houdendorp, and I'm sitting with
Erik Loof,
Joost Glijsteen,
Kenneth van Zurksum,
Adnan Hendricks.
En Peter Aalmans.
So 6 people, 5 microphones. So we will do a little sharing here over here. So that will be that will be working on our end. We're diving into the Ignite updates. Last recording that we did was about Intune and Entra What's New. We're continuing that every month, but this month it's a special edition about Ignite. What was the most important thing, Peter, on Ignite?
Copilot.
Yeah, it was awesome. I saw some little video from. It was a recap of the keynote of Satya, and it was 5 minutes and only words of Copilot and AI. So I think Copilot AI, that was the thing on Ignite.
Yeah. I think that was the main topic. Copilot, AI, and everything around it.
Yeah, but are we happy with it?
Yeah, why not? I'm using like a Microsoft 365 Copilot since a couple of weeks, and yesterday I could easily recap a large document into a couple of PowerPoint slides. So yeah,
that's nice.
it's working.
It's working. Yeah, for certain scenarios, it's working perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, we will do later today. We will do an Ignite update, and I think you asked Copilot to do a summary on Ignite. What are the highlights? And I think five topics were published there.
I think they were all Copilot related. So yeah, that summarized.
That was the trend.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
If you're talking in the microphone, everyone can hear us. What was the most important thing for you, Erik? Was that also Copilot, or besides Copilot, what else?
For me, it was, of course, overwhelming about the Copilot. What's not important for me, but what fell my eye on was Microsoft was introducing Microsoft Link, which was a thin client. And from my perspective, during COVID, I phased out all thin clients with all my customers. So I'm very curious, what about that move about the Microsoft Link device? Because it's because everybody's using Teams and is using the laptop, and everybody's moving in the Netherlands but maybe it's for another business unit. So that was my top of mind, and not and there was not so besides Microsoft Link, there wasn't so much new for my opinion. As I look back at the Orlando edition, there were a lot of new stuff. It was more, general availability of 2025 server, Azure Local, that kind of things was interesting. It was Azure Tech HCI, it was renaming, great marketing about things that were already there. But especially the link was, okay, what's the vision of Microsoft about that? So that's my idea.
Yeah, and the link, they kept it really secret. I was in the opportunity to actually hold the device almost half a year ago in Amsterdam, and there was strictly under NDA because they wanted to use Ignite to launch this device. And it's a lightweight Windows 11 core is on there. It is a special purpose device for Windows 365, connecting to the cloud PC.
Windows Link,
Yeah.
the new thin client. So we'll continuing the circle over here. So Joost, what takes your attention on Ignite?
Yeah, I think what I've been doing for the most of the time right now is inventory and device query / multi-device query. Those are the biggest ones for me. And everything around security.
Kenneth?
Take some time to get the microphone.
No problem.
What I found the most interesting is actually how Microsoft picked up the whole CrowdStrike outage and what actions they actually took to circumvent that. So they started, of course, the Windows Resiliency Initiative. And they announced what we call the quick machine recovery. That will actually be a method to recover a machine in cases of where we are not able to access the operating system anymore using systems like Intune. So it will actually be very interesting to find out what kind of solution that will be. And secondly, they also, and that's was not really an Ignite announcement, but they also announced that they reached an agreement with XDR vendors to not write any kernel drivers anymore for their products, but actually Microsoft is allowing them to hook into some of the functionality that Microsoft is providing. Therefore, making sure that what happens with the CrowdStrike outage, that the chances of that happening again will actually become a lot lower. So it will be interesting to see what will happen there. But for me, quick machine recovery is maybe the next big thing. I'm very curious.
Small question about that. From my opinion, is it maybe possible in the future to misuse that functionality to use it as an OSD cloud alternative? So
we don't know because we haven't seen yet how Microsoft is going to implement it. But well, if you look at, for example, macOS. When something is wrong with macOS, you can have from the BIOS, you can boot or already get an image from the cloud. I think it will be something similar like that.
Yeah, but that will be really hard because you have so much vendors. For Apple, it's like only one platform.
Indeed.
They know their shit.
Yeah.
And every hardware vendor has their own solution. HP, Shure, Recover, Dell has its own ability to download vanilla Windows image. Microsoft, even the Surface devices, you can get your image from the BIOS. So it will be hard. But for the CrowdStrike, they built like a USB stick for their customers.
Yeah, indeed. But that USB stick was more like Windows PE. Replaced or renamed the driver so that it cannot start and continue. And of course, we needed to circumvent or find a way to circumvent the BitLocker drive encryption at that point in time. So we will probably see what will happen there. We do see more integration in Intune with configuring device drivers, BIOS, etc. With vendors. So it could also be an extension of something they are already building with the whole firmware interface stuff going on there.
And if you want to test with the quick machine recovery, it will be available early 2025 in the Windows Insider program.
January 1st, early. Yeah, that would be
early.
Yeah.
But related to the Windows Resiliency Initiative, I think it was in September that we have Paul Huybrechts presenting on the Workplace Ninja Summit on the update rings on Defender. That's the Microsoft Virus initiative, MVI, they called it. That's more or less the update rings that we already have in Windows. That can also be used more or less the same for antivirus.
Yeah, we actually started implementing that on the Defender side after that a mistake where actually the shortcuts were gone. We called it, was it RSR Mergeddon or something? What was the name for it? But actually that incident actually made Intune admins realize that maybe setting deployment rings for rollout of these kinds of updates was necessary while it was already in the product. But we saw a large adoption of those update rings because people started blogging about it and stuff like that.
And the third thing related to the Windows Resiliency Initiative is the adminless. They are forcing users and apps not using admin permissions anymore. So using normal permissions like we already know on the Linux and macOS devices for years. That's driving through in Windows also in the coming period, I guess.
Yeah, and it's actually quite logical that Microsoft is doing that. Why be 24/7 admin? And while there are valid use cases to give people administrative privileges, but there are better ways to actually build that, and Microsoft is doing that at the moment.
It's I think third, fourth, fifth approach, because we also have the store, which was in the lowest level.
Indeed.
So they tried much, but I don't
but
know if it's gonna help now.
Well, as long as the session that you log into is not administrative, you are actually making big progress as well.
Normal is it? USC is normal. You have the normal token. You have to do something to be.
But it's also related to app vendors and so on. So Microsoft can do it on their own. So they are pushing it and forcing it, but app vendors needs to come along with it. Related,
as always.
was one other thing on my mind. 1.5 years ago, it was in Israel, Blue Hat, and then the Windows Security PM, who is it? Weston, Mr. Weston. He introduced the Rust kernel, and that's also related to this initiative, in my opinion.
Yeah, so a lot going on there.
Yeah. Next one, Adnan.
For me, it was a lot of the AI stuff. So I use Copilot Studio a lot. So making your own Copilot, having it nice with the templates, and also how they changing the AI Studio into the new AI Foundry, which is also going to make creating your own Copilots a lot easier. Do also using templates and that sort of thing. So a lot of that no code, low code, create your own Copilot things were great to see, along with the agents. That's going to be everywhere.
So can you explain in 2-3 sentences what is an agent, what's Copilot actions? I think it's a lot of fuzz, because you have to read it 10 times to understand. So what's your idea? Because I don't fully understand what's an action, Copilot action, which was announced, and was a Copilot agent, because you're into the Copilot. So maybe you can explain that for.
Well, you see, you can create your own agent, which is basically like your own Copilot that's going to be looking at some sort of input and then be able to action on it. For example, let's say the agent that's coming in Outlook is going to be able to do everything that has to do with email. So mails coming in, creating calendar items, for example, and just be able to talk to the AI and say, hey, I've got this meeting coming in, or maybe emails, and that can be then actioned upon based on the content of the email. So the agent's just sitting there, and as the mail's coming in, you've already given it instruction to pick up certain items and do something with it. So that's just an agent that's going to be doing a lot of different kind of actions based on the input you give it. So like let's say out of office. So you can be out of office and still handle certain things instead of them just getting a mail saying you're out of office. But you can still, all those bills that you get, Eric, you can still send it to administration. You can have it automate the payment of the bills maybe. So much you can do.
Yeah, Satya called it the Outlook rules in Copilot, basically.
And you're going to be having these kind of agents all over the place. So in Teams, maybe picking up certain messages off certain channels or teams that you're in, and utilizing the third-party apps that's within Teams and do specific actions. So that's a nice thing. The other thing for me was the security. So I do a lot of security as well, and also the link was also quite nice for the Azure Virtual Desktop or the cloud PC perspective of it. But on the security side, I'm sure you guys been using the Defender External Attack Surface Management, EASM. Well, that's generally available as surface or external surface management. So it's a nice product where you as a company can have a look at your own IT infrastructure from a hacker's perspective. So you're looking from the outside in, basically. So I use that a lot on my projects. And you don't even have to own the infrastructure that you're scanning. So you could just put in a domain, a public IP address, and then the product will basically do a lot of security scans and give you visibility into all the things that are, the security leaks or the things that aren't set in a certain way, or things that might be on a specific version that have vulnerabilities. So then you can action on that and, fix it.
Is that also rebranded? Is that exposure management?
Yes.
Yeah, they call it.
It's basically the same.
But there are also third-party tools of that, of money.
Mhm.
What is, if you do it by Microsoft, is there any connection between all other products for the Defender and Security Suite and that kind of stuff?
Perspective instead.
It's connected to the Defender Suite because you see vulnerabilities. Is it also, or is it just a standalone product?
It's a standalone product. So it's not directly connected with your normal Defender. It's just something that lives on its own.
Yeah,
it's more from the outside in. Whereas your normal Defender products will already tell you, hey, you gotta ensure that this switch is on. You gotta make sure that this functionality is enabled. But that will just scan as a normal, hacker would. So that's the first step.
It's part of Defender for Cloud,
Mm.
and that is not directly connected to Defender XDR, so it's not connected to Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Office, or so.
Mm.
But nice. For me, one most important thing was Defender for Office, and Defender for Office. They introduced new large language models to get detections. In the last few months, so beginning of this year, they introduced for enterprises these kind of things, and they announced that it will be available for small medium business customers. And the approach from more or less the security teams to get more features available for small and medium business. And I think it's interesting for you, Eric, but I think that really helps, especially here in the Netherlands and probably also in other countries as well, where we have a lot of small and medium business customers. And if they can use all the enterprise features more and more, that could help defend them. They have integration and announced partnership with Huntress that is available within Huntress, but also small and medium business security solutions that will be, and partners that will be featured on MISA, the Intelligent Security Association from Microsoft. And so they can move forward on small and medium business customers, in my opinion. Other things to mention, because we missed Intune a lot at the moment.
Yeah, I think there weren't that much announcements around Intune. Joost already touched on hardware inventory and multi-device query, but another thing which you can do and configure with Intune is Windows Hot Patch. It's a new feature of, for instance, Windows 11, which allows you to basically patch without booting, and then only booting once a quarter when the baseline needs to be set. So it will help your maybe more strategic devices that can be rebooted that often to have lesser reboots.
MOM support?
MOM support for Android. For Windows, the Windows app on Android, yep.
Yep.
And
that's the Windows app that's related to Windows
Cloud
3.
PC,
Yeah.
Yep.
Kenneth, what about Entra? You're doing a lot of stuff with conditional access, but also integration with Secure Service Edge. There were a few things on Secure Service Edge
Yeah, so mainly improvements based on, of course, the fact that it's now released. So the product receives updates. We have new agents or clients, to say so, for macOS and I believe iOS available.
Yeah.
So and that of course will be necessary to make this the SSA solution suitable for every platform, because it's not Windows only, of course.
So it will be more and more zero trust networking in a total.
Indeed, yeah, and the integration, what we know as compliant networks, was already available within conditional access.
Yep.
So no real news there. I think the biggest news on the SSE front was the announcements of the agents for macOS and iOS.
Yep.
Further, I think we heard something about pool print for universal print. We were having a discussion on whether we see that being used by customers. But it might be the thing that might decide customers to start using it again. So that was quite interesting. But not on the conditional access front. No big updates. I think when updates appear on that, they actually don't wait for Ignite to announce that.
Yeah, but that's the discussion that we have already a few times in the past. We see so many updates every month coming through. Instead of being announced at one big event that we have in September or whatever moment in the year, but so they don't wait anymore for releasing updates on that Ignite or other conferences.
No.
And I think that's good. But yeah, that helps us. Erik, I saw in the slide deck that we have to present later on. There is some Azure stuff in it as well. Azure Local, what's that?
Just a new name for Azure ACI at the beginning. But it's an interesting move to make a new marketing term because there are a lot of things going on about VMware and Broadcom and licensing and everybody and the ASXi, the free version, all kind of stuff is different nowadays. So I think it's a good move for Microsoft from a marketing perspective to make, hey, we have something which is different than VMware. So that's my opinion, but you can run running VDI on your own premises or your own via Microsoft was always dramatic from a licensing perspective.
Yep.
So Azure Local, you can run Azure Virtual Desktop on your own hardware if there is a use case for that, and you can run Kubernetes and you can manage the whole stuff from Azure. So it's typically easy to move, so you can manage it from one console, one pane of glass, for example, your workloads on premises, and you don't have to, how about licensing for your server? Is just licensed via the Azure consumption model? Because this was always also a big problem. You buy a server, open license, open file subscription, SPLA, CSP, difficult. Server on, server off, licensing model on-premise, it was a pity. So they fixed with the new name and the management, but you cannot have your own hardware. You have to buy hardware, specific Azure Local certified hardware to have a supported solution, which I think you want. And it's one node, multiple nodes. So Azure is taking the management for you.
Get it?
Yeah,
Anything to add?
What Erik already said, we now see a shift that the control plane is moving to Azure.
Yeah.
And you can have local resources, but all under control of Azure itself.
Yeah, but the type
single pane of glass also.
But the type of resources that are available at the on-prem nodes, they are extending the type of resources that you have there and you can run that.
Indeed, and in the end, of course, when doing a technical implementation, we eventually find out whether functionality is fully on par or not. But let's say that we have been trying to do this for a long time already. But especially now with Arc and everything that Microsoft is doing, we are seeing more and more steps where actually the control plane can be Azure. But we have local processing on top of Azure Local, as we call it now.
Yeah, but Azure Local, it must be running on a certified hardware. There is no operating system because the operating system is there already. But they announced Server 2024 as
25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
as general available. So, do we need that? What's your opinion on that? Yeah, go ahead, Erik.
Of course you need, because there is a new server, then the old server will be end of life, like we last year did on the 2012 R2.
So it's only for money.
No, and also functionality. I mean, I'm really
Security.
keen on trying the.
But that can be
virtual
added
desktops.
to other to the former versions as well. So is it only marketing stuff and
It's like what we used to. It's like we what we're used to. There is over a few years there is a new server version with some enhancement. From my opinion, if you know Active Directory from Server 2000 and NTFS, it's still running Kerberos. It's still the MMC is just like in 2008.
We're all migrating customers to Azure and to cloud usage. So
you have
And I
still
know-
AFAS, or not AFAS, no, but Exact. There are many customers who have servers, have thousands of servers running, and they're not gone yet next month.
probably not. But also enterprises are running server infrastructures as well. So
I think the fact that Windows Server was announced but not mentioned in the keynote already says enough.
says enough.
And I doubt that Ignite is really that we are the client base. It's a commercial conference, so the average person that it's directed to are the normal IT guys.
It's a more marketing event than it
Yeah.
was before, I think, because I searched for the word passkeys, which is my interest. I only saw a presentation about YubiKey. What?
The vendor.
Yeah. So that's...
During Ignite, the passkeys were, or the device-bound passkeys were mentioned
Yeah,
as
if I-
GA, or released as GA.
But if I do the search, I only see a
Yeah,
presentation from YubiKey.
From Yubico.
Yubico,
Yeah.
it's all, for me, the same.
Any other things to mention? Because I think we all agree it's a more marketing-focused event for the IT environments of companies, larger companies, not directly for the consultants and the implementation people.
I don't know if you want to learn about the vision of Microsoft and you want to talk with people about the vision, then it's a really good conference to go to.
Yeah, but
Because,
it's the content that they delivered.
if you want to have deep technical content, then
I think
maybe
it's.
not.
I think it's a huge, interesting event if you want to network and learn to know people and see what is going on in the Microsoft side. I think that really helps for everyone.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but there were breakout sessions. Those sessions weren't recorded. So, and those sessions were a little bit technical, shorter but technical.
Yeah.
So there were technical guys, and
Yeah, but most of the times there are side conversations next to the normal breakout sessions. So you can make an appointment with the people who are there. And I think that is one of the benefits of such an event, that you can meet people, have the interaction. I know for one of the companies that I work for in the past few years, we had several conversations during an Ignite conference, and that was directly with the technical guys from the product group. So I think that is really interesting because everyone is coming together on such a conference. But the main technical announcements and the technical deep dive.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in now. IT world, it's going so quickly, and Microsoft can't wait. They waited with Windows Link, but they can't wait
With everything.
With everything,
Right.
so they need to be agile. They need to be quick on releasing new stuff because customers asking for it or demanding it, it, or they are required to upscale the security level. So
Agree.
This,
And also remembering to keep with the theme of the conference, because Microsoft Ignite was themed Copilot, AI. So all the major new features, functionality, even on the Azure infrastructure side, it was new virtual machine sizes that were really there to support AI workloads, and like the NB and the HP, for example, including the new Azure hardware that they brought. Okay, there was the liquid cooling. That was also nice to see, but
Yeah, but also other conferences are used. I know RSA is used for Microsoft to announce some security updates during the year, and I think Build is used for some Windows announcements also.
But I think if you look back, it was a huge success for Microsoft, right?
Definitely.
They have like 15,000 people on premises.
Sold
It
out.
was sold out, and like
really fast.
more than 100,000 online attendees.
and I've
So,
assisted with some of the
that's-
AI tours,
you're
and those
doing a good
also
thing.
sold out. So everybody's really keen on looking at what Microsoft's bringing to the table with the whole Copilot perspective and implementation of ChatGPT.
Yeah, they're traveling around the world with the AI.
Road tour,
Yeah. What we saw in the past few years, Ignite on tour, that is the AI on tour at the moment.
Yep,
So to
only AI.
say. It's only AI. There was one in Paris.
I've been to Paris. I assisted there with the AI workshop.
Is there another close by in Europe?
There's one in Sydney now.
Yeah, Sydney at the moment. But
Hilversum, hè?
Ja.
Het was in Hilversum.
Yeah, it was in Hilversum a couple of
Weeks
about the
ago?
same.
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago.
Eric was there.
Yep.
With a community stand, I guess.
Yes, we were there for Express Live.
Nice.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Ignite to wrap it up? Joost?
No.
We didn't hear you that much.
No, it was short about Intune, so short about me as well.
No other things?
Purview.
Purview.
Was
the
like
thing we missed.
Yeah, it was in the keynote, which is a new thing, which is used now also, of course, for Copilot misuse, and so a preview gets a new life in Copilot world, for my opinion.
Yeah, and Purview will be much more important than we saw it in the past. So it will be used within AI, within Copilot, but also data protection in
DLP,
general.
yeah,
you know.
Microsoft 365.
So it will be the next thing about security.
So
and
we need to,
compliancy.
hard security, so we need to move into data security.
The thing is, it's always been there. It's just now it's, matured enough to be able to be used everywhere, and we need it with Copilot.
Mature enough, and I think that's...
Yeah, but it's still interesting that Microsoft releases functionality after Copilot related to data security after Copilot was released.
Yeah.
And if I'm really honest, they shouldn't be able to do that. You should first have the guardrails and then release the product on top of it. And many customers actually started using the product without any guardrails. And hopefully they also see the dangers of that at the moment. But a Purview is a way to go there. If you are a Purview consultant, you will probably won't be out of work in the next couple of years.
Probably not. Adnan.
Now, I just wanted to say, what if it was Copilot that told them that, Purview is missing some things, and now they just added in because it saw the gaps.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of Purview to secure Copilot. So.
Yeah, it is. But a lot of interesting news coming from Ignite. Probably some other things will be released. They are announced some stuff that will be released in the next coming months. But also new things are coming up in Intune, in Intra, and we will cover that next month. That will be in 2025. There will be New Year. This is the last recording of 2024. We have done, I think, a lot of things this year. We had several meetings. We did a wrap up in the last recording, I guess. Let's look forward to next year. And if you are in the Netherlands and want to join us, we have an event on
February the 5th.
Workplace Ninja Connect.
Yes.
So 3 tracks with different sessions. If you want to learn more, go to WPNinjasNL /connect. where you can register on Eventbrite, I guess, where the ticket's coming from. And then you're more than welcome in Gorinchem, in the Hotel of Van der Valk, to see what everyone is bringing onto the table. The speakers are announced are on the website at the moment. And a lot of things happening next year. So let's meet each other
We'll
on
be
the other
busy
side.
again.
We'll be there.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.